Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of On the Mic with Mike. I'm your host, Mike Larkin, and joining me today is adult star, content creator, producer, and a hell of a one at that, the one, the only, Miss Livie Blainn. How are you, Livie?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. First and foremost, it is a pleasure. I've seen a lot of work that you've put out in as far as the content creation side of things, and just as a whole, you obviously take a lot of pride in your craft, and it definitely shows. I got to give you love and respect for it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Some people think it's like, they're like, oh, you just rock up and have sex. That would be nice. That would be nice.
I'm actually glad you brought that up. So let's actually start with that point, because I love how you actually just went into that. I always say this, and it's so funny, and I can say it from my perspective because I love what I do, folks. I love doing the podcasting thing, interviewing great people like this one over here, and so many people who do their content creator side of things. I always say, even from the young age, even from the teenage years, even looking at porn and the adult entertainment industry for the art form that it is, people just think it's like sex, like you see with any movie or any adult movie. It's like, no, they're not just having sex. There's production, there's lighting, there's everything that goes in front of the camera, behind the camera. It's not just like you wave a magic wand and then poof, here comes a sex scene. There's stuff that goes into this.
That would be amazing if it was. You know that?
Of course it would be, but that's the problem. There's time.
Do you know how many miles I fly? Do you know how many countries I visit? Do you like how many times my passport's been stamped? Like that alone, never mind booking a location, setting up lights, cameras, coordinating with people, paperwork. Oh my God. Paperwork is like the bane of my existence. All of that. And that's before you even discuss your do's and don'ts. It's like, okay.
But that's the thing, too, and I'm glad you brought that up, because that's the thing, too. I've always said this, and I think you can equate this with me. It's the two S's, safe and spectacular. Going into the scene, being safe, being tested, and applying your craft in spectacular fashion. Having the boundaries, having everything set, like you mentioned, the do's and don'ts of what to expect and what is okay and what's not okay. You have to be precise with everything that you do.
You do, because if you don't say it, people, they don't realize, and they could do something that you're totally against, and it's not their fault because you've not actually turned around and went, actually, hey, I don't like you kissing my ear, for example. But if you don't specifically say that and you say, yeah, I'm fine with kissing, but don't specify, it's like, well, you can't expect that person to be a mind reader.
Right. You have to speak up, and that's the day and age that we need to be. We've always mentioned this, like you have to speak up. Accommodation and comfortability is so key. And even like you mentioned, one of the most minuscule things of like kissing someone on the air. Well, maybe they don't like that, so let's work away and make sure that this person's comfortable and we have a great scene.
Yep.
That's the main thing, too, and we've always touched upon this, like we mentioned the safety protocols and everything that goes into it. One thing that I've always enjoyed about the adult entertainment industry, and we'll even start it here as well before we really get to your story of how you gravitated into it, I think the creative process with how many scenes and how much you go into it of like what the story that you're telling as well as having sex into it, because there's so much of a variety that people really get into or what they like about porn. It could be the storytelling that leads to the sex, or some watch it just for sex. There's so much uniqueness that goes into it, and just tell us how fun the creative process is, because you yourself, with the scenes that you put out, the creative process really goes a lot into how we get to see such great production.
It does. So I have a very vivid imagination. So there's times I'll be like, really want to do this. Who's game for this? Because a lot of people, they just want to turn up, knock out a boy girl or a girl or whatever, and go. And other people are very much like, yeah, I'm down for that. Like, I think the most difficult one I've managed to do so far was the Mario Brothers porn parody. So everybody bought a different outfit, a different character. And it was meant to be, the maid's cleaning and she falls asleep and she wakes up in Mario World. And there's all these different Mario characters. And she ends up fucking each character. And I say that, and everyone's like, what is wrong with you now? I was like, what do you mean? They were like, can we not? I was like, no, we can't just do a boring like, hey, we're neighbors and we met and we're having a drink. No, I want to do something fun. So things like that, because it's not every day. You're not going to watch Luigi getting sucked off by Dino like on a regular basis. Like, nobody actually dressed as Dino, just saying. But it's that kind of comical. It's comedy plus there's sex plus everybody's dressed up, so it's fun. It's fantasy. Like I've done green screen ones, where it projects the image behind you to where they are. And I had one of my cucks dressed in a gimp mask as if it was a medieval scene, and I'm actually throwing live cabbages at him. As you do, right?
Yes.
So you just see him standing there like, oh, I'm in trouble. And it's like, as if he's like, in the middle of a street and people are watching him, because in the background, it looks like it's a wall in a medieval like castle kind of thing. And then all of a sudden, there are these cabbages appearing and he's dodging them. And I was like, see, this is fun. This is fun content. And that's before we, I do anything else. That was the intro to.
I like that. First and foremost, here's what I love about how you put that, because we've seen in so many days and ages, even from like the 2000s to now, and even back in the day, there was a website called Big Sausage Pizza, and the main plot of Big Sausage Pizza was, all right, here comes the pizza guy. He's delivering the pizza. Did somebody order a pizza with extra sausage? Boom, the little holes in the middle, sausage. Yep. Boom. So that's great and all, but I think what I like about your creative perspective is Mario Kart and Mario is a popular culture. It's very popular, video games and what have you. You're cosplaying, which adds a lot to one's eye, and dressing like the Mario Brothers or dressing like maids and what have you. It adds a nice little layer to it, but also at the same time too, you have to add the fun side of things. Even in medieval times, like you can have something like, I'm surprised nobody's ever done like a medieval times parody, because it's a popular restaurant. It represents a rich part of history, and also you can make history sexy. So there's a lot to really work with.
You can. I mean, the Dark Ages, you could go dark. Like you could go really dark. Don't, because I'll end up like, hey, who wants to do this? I'll be on the chat groups tonight. I'll be like, hi, anybody want to do this?
That's like friggin', oh my God. And I mean, we mentioned the dark side. That would be like when a lot of us have read this play in school, and there was a movie, of course. That'd be like the Crucible with Winona Ryder and everybody, and just like, let's make something of the Crucible and the letter A and the Scarlet Letter. And it's like, what? Like, we're going to make Four Witches in that movie about adultery? Like, there's stuff that you can do and go down that route. But I see, like, you can make something out of anything, so to speak.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, I did that split play in high school. I did drama. So I played in the Crucible. I was cast in all the suffragette movies and things like that. And like, I used to love stuff like that. I mean, I don't know how sexy the suffragette thing would be on sex. I'd be like, force feed me your dick. No.
Force feed me your dick.
Never mind the funnel. I'm like, oh, yeah, huh.
Oh my goodness gracious, yes. And it's like with Mario, I equated to this. Like, there was a porn parody back in the day. So mind you, this is around the time when the first Spider-Man came out, right? Everybody was talking about that infamous kiss scene with Kirsten Dunst and Tobey Maguire. Yeah. So they made a porn parody called Spider Babe, and it was the female role of like the Peter Parker was. Yep. And she's having sex with everybody that she saves, and she also has sex with the guy that she's interested in. So you have a nice little play of Spider-Man, but with Spider Babe, which works. And it works.
I mean, I'm not like, on times I'll be doing a scene. I did a scene on Saturday in California.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, I'm going to fuck the shit out of you. And I was like, no. I was like, he said something like, he made some comment like referring to good. And I just looked at him and I was like, if you want me to be a good girl, you need to fuck the Mario coins out of me. So he just he's like, fuck, what? I was like, nah. I was like, nobody calls me good girl. Like, I'm a dominatrix. I was like, so when guys say it, I just look at them. I'm like, hell, you want that? I was like, you got to fuck the Mario coins out of me. He's like, I don't know what to do with you. I was like, I just told you.
I'm just going to say this right now. You are a fun time, my friend. You are an absolute fun time.
There's times I'll do something that I'm like, one day I'll be a grown-up. Today is not that day.
I like that. I like that a lot. Oh my goodness. So I will ask you about that, since you did bring it up. First of all, I love the Dom Mommy name. I really do. That really does add a lot to your character, and you're welcome. But let's talk about the dominatrix side of things, because how awesome is it to see? Because I remember as a kid in popular culture, like MTV's True Life, they did a special on True Life, I'm a dominatrix. Shows us the subside and really how popular the dominatrix lifestyle is. How awesome is it to see how really that's taken off in that category, and everybody loves them some doms?
I know. So years ago, like 20 years ago, when I started out as a dominatrix, it was very hush-hush, underground. Nobody spoke about it. You know, like the idea of a female, like it was still very much a no. A female, no. And a lot of my clients were, let's just say, that the upper echelons of society. So the ones that, you sign an NDA. It's cool. I never need to say your name. I don't even pay attention to who you are. But they loved the fact that it was a female in power, telling them what to do, and they could relinquish any kind of anything. You know, they were pliable, shall we say. And I love that. And as it's kind of went on, I see more and more women, you know, embracing it and not falling into the whole, okay, the females to be the subservient no. But then there's also this thing which really annoys me when I go to like the munchies. So in the fetish world, we call it a munch, which is like a social gathering instead of a meet and greet in the lifestyle. And people still equate dominatrix with pain. And I'm like, right, no. Like, this is a fallacy. Like, I'm a pleasure dom. I'm a sensory dom. I mean, yes, don't get me wrong. If I'm doing a session with somebody and they say, hey, I get off on pain. Okay, what kind of pain? Like, we will incorporate that into something. But I'm like, no, there are so many other facets of dominatrix, dominating somebody, all the rest of it, that doesn't include one iota of pain. Like, it's very pleasurable. You know, having orgasms, you know, multiple orgasms, and you being told, no, you have no control over this. That's just pleasure. That's not pain.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even the guys that are into sounding. So I do sounding, I do wax play, I do all kind of sorts of different things. And guys always go, no. And I'm like, have you ever done it? They're like, no. I was like, well, see, it's not painful. Like, I can tell you now, within the third insertion of a sounding cane, that guy's got a hard on. And he's trying not to come. And I'm like, see, so there's no pain there because you're not about to shoot your load if you're in pain.
First of all, I like how you brought down the psychology of that, number one, but also number two, I have to add on to that because that's another part. And as many of the talents that I've had on here who do the dom, much like yourself, there's always a thing, and I always bring up this pop culture analogy. It's like you're like Mariah Carey. You're giving them that sweet, sweet fantasy baby type of vibes, right? So everybody, like you mentioned, they kind of think of it as a pain, like the whoosh and the whips and everything. Yes. We're in a day and age now, and I love this wholeheartedly, especially with the lifestyle that you live and a lot of people that we see. It's more normalized. It's people really showcasing their uniqueness, their creativity, letting their freak flag fly, so to speak. But it's them being themselves, and that's the most important part about individuality. But in your line of work, I mean, that's the pleasure. A lot of people like to get that stuff, maybe add a little pain. You're showcasing the boundaries and the accommodation to them, but it works all hand in hand, and it works out for the clientele and you as a whole as the dom.
Mm-hmm. It does. I mean, like, I can do the more intricate part of things. You know, I do pegging, fisting. I'll introduce sounds. When I was in the UK, I actually did an intro to BDSM where you would spend, 10, 20 minutes in different stations and you would identify or see, oh, what's this? What does it do? How does this work? Electroplay, pegging, different kind of toys, shibari, even though like shibari bores the life out of me. I'm like, go talk to one of the men that have much more patience than I do. But it's just a little introduction to because some people are like, I don't know what I like. Well, that's fine. You don't have to know what you like because your tastes are going to change anyway. So, have a little taster, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Is this for you? Is it not for you? Is it something you want to explore on a different occasion? Do you know that kind of thing? And I always say to people, don't pigeonhole yourself. Because I can go from, as I say, the intricate things to, I have cuckolds. I'm a cuckoldress. I do hot wife. I do cuckoldry. I also do, there's not a word for it yet. We need to find a word. So I have a series and I am the bull. So I'm a female bull. I have the strap on. I fuck the hot wife in front of the husband. But there's not a terminology for that because there's not very many of us who do it.
You mess with the bull, you get the horns.
I know, but bulls are men. I'm the female bull. I was like, but that's a cow. I'm like, no, I'm not calling. No, I'm not.
You're not calling yourself a cow.
No. I'm like, no. So guys are like, what about a uni bull? I was like, but I'm not a unicorn. I was like, because I don't fuck with couples. Even as a single female, I'm like, yeah, if you're both cool, I'll fuck you, but I'm not a unicorn. So I'm like, no, I can't be a uni bull either. So I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I am. In terms of that aspect of it. So.
Well, I was going to say Raging Bull, but you can't trademark that because that's a movie. And I'm like, yeah, no, you can't do Raging Bull. Mess with the bull, you get the... Well, that's the thing, too. I mean, like we mentioned, you can't call yourself a cow because that's female. Well, no, but that's the thing, too. It's it's uniqueness, but I like that. I really do. Whatever name it does come up with, I really look forward to Steven.
I need to figure out a name because I'm like, when I try and explain it to people, but even cuck-queening. So when I try and explain cuck-queening to people, they don't get it. So I just went and did Naughty New Orleans. I don't know if you've ever heard that.
Yes.
Yep. So that was my second year as an ambassador there. And the amount of people that are like, wait, you're Livie Blainn? I'm like, yeah, hi. And they're like, no, like the porn star. I'm like, hi, nice to meet you. And then they're like, wait, can I get my husband? I'm like, yeah. Or they're like, can I get my wife? I'm like, yeah, hi. Hold on. And I must have spent at least 20, 30 times a day with different people, different conversations about the same thing. So what's the difference between cuckolding and cuck-queening? And what's a cuckoldress? And what does this work? And how does that work? And, well, what if my husband doesn't want to be humiliated? You don't have to humiliate them as a cuck. Like the cuck can actually be completely involved in this, and you can both enjoy the pleasure that is there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but no, like the cuckold's like, no, a cuckold is whatever you want them to be. They're just not the one that's inserting. I said, but there are some cuckolds that fuck the wife at the same time as the bull. And they're like, wait, what? And their mind was blown. I'm like, okay, there's a misconception here somewhere that to be a cuckold, you're this sad, pathetic man that sits in the corner with something on his dick, sobbing into a hanky. Like, no. So I spent so many times, I was like, you know what, next year I'm coming back. And they're like, yeah, do a class. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do a class on all the differences and the variations of, because like by the end of my shift, I was like, I need my bed. I was like, I'm exhausted just talking to people. And then I was doing like the playrooms at night. So I was running the playroom till like on the first shift. And the room was meant to be, last year it was the tantric room. So I ran the tantric room and I was explaining, like the tantric sex and enjoying each other and not having to rush and and the whole group play kind of scenario. And this year we combined it with the glory holes. So glory holes and reverse glory holes. So I'm like, look, it's like perv and chill. We've got the perv section at the start and then the tantric bit at the back. So they were like, what? By the end of like the 4 days, they were like, no, it's the Livie room. I was like, oh, it's the Livie room now. Like, it's not the tantric room. It's not the black light. It's the Livie room. I'm like, okay, it's a Livie room.
Got your own room name after you and everything. I like that. No, I mean the perv and chill vibes is cool because you think we all have Netflix and chill, perv and chill. You start with like,
that's why I was like, you know what? You can watch the girls in the glory hole, you can join in, and then you can all go chill in the back and enjoy each other after the whole, like, and you can talk about that experience and, And it's like I took one night off. I took the BDSM night off just so that I could enjoy the play floor, as a participating rather than like working. And everyone was like, why are you not in your room? I was like, because I'm being a slut. Like, this is my night to do what I want and just enjoy it. And I went in the room and it was dead. It was like so quiet, and usually you can't move for people. So I'm like, why are you all stood there? Get your dick out. Somebody put something in a fucking hole. And these people just moved. I was like, thank you. And they're like, just stay. I was like, no, I'm about to go in the +1 room and play with all the bulls. Like, bye-bye. I served my purpose. Now go get me some.
I do love the fact, and I got to say, first and foremost, one of the things that I do love about you, Livie, and I say this with the utmost sincerity and respect to you, my friend, is when I look at someone like yourself, besides being the absolute real deal sex appeal that you are, man, I look at it like this, man. You also provide the great aesthetic from the hair, the style, and everything. I think your look, and I mean that wholeheartedly, man. I love the look, love the aesthetic. It's different, it's unique, and I think it really does showcase your personality with everything you do.
Yep, there's not very many of me.
And that's not a bad thing. You can be the one and only you, and I think that's wonderful.
I know. It's like when people are like, why the hair? I'm like, well, you're not going to lose me, are you? Like, you're not going to lose me in a crowd. There's not going to be that many people with fucking long-ass braids that are blue and blonde. Like, where'd she go? Up there. And to see people, she's there.
I think that definitely does add a lot of style and aesthetic. And I think with the adult entertainment industry, a lot of it's really the subtleties, intricacies, and nuances. And that certainly shows within your work and what you do. And one person I do have to mention that you did work with, it's one of my favorite people that you've worked with and showcased that you're both just hotness, dare I say hotness. You and Sexy Sammy, man, doing the damn thing. Great on camera, great people as a whole. Let's talk about this because my goodness gracious, y'all killed it.
We did. We've worked together a few times now. So we first met back in January at AVN. And I'm like, it was the award night. So I'm like, chatting to people, all the rest of it. And she's just like, she just ran over to me and she's like, can I hug you? And I'm like, hi, I don't know who you are, but okay. She's like, okay, yeah, hi.
What an icebreaker.
I was just like, oh, okay. So she was like, yeah, she was like, I've worked with some of the people you've worked with. And I'm like, you need to slow down because I don't even know your name. You just literally ran over to me, like, hugged me and blah, 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 and then ran away. I was like, okay. So we ended up at the same party afterwards. I ended up standing and talking to her husband. We then shot together in Chicago. And then we shot together in San Diego. And then we were together last week in LA. So it's been some hilarity. I think the best scene ever was me strapping her and the dildo flying off. I'm going to have to put it out there as a blooper reel because I'm fucking her from behind. I'm ramming her. I'm like, you fucking take my dick, bitch. And then I was like, oh, my dick's falling off. That thing just She's like, friend, we've lost a dick. I'm like, yes, we've lost a dick. I couldn't get this thing back on, so I'm shouting to her husband. I'm like, can you fix my dick? He's like, hold on. He comes, so he's like, I'll fix your dick.
Please release those bloopers.
I need to. Fucking dying with laughter.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so first of all, I've seen the scene that you're talking about, and the scene itself, folks, go out of your way and watch it because it's very sexy, and you two, again, great chemistry, and I really love you both, but god dang it, man, that is just absolutely hilarious. That really is. That's the thing people don't get to see because of the machine and how everything that we're doing that goes
Precisely.
into it.
That's why everybody thinks that, these people that get on set, oh, we're totally into each other, we fancy each other, and we just want to fuck. No, like we've got all this and then all the stuff in the background, and then like, oh, is it like, so we were recording her scene first with the male talent that was there, Black Venom.
Mm-hmm.
And the next minute, it sounds like, you get the metal sheets and you shake them and it's like, and we're like, the fuck? I was like, is there construction going on outside? Or no, they put this fucking sheet under the bed. So halfway through it, she's like, is that us? Like, yes. So I'm trying to hold the bed still. He's trying to hold the bed still. And they're trying to shoot. And I was just like, I'm trying not to giggle here. I'm like, this is like proper hilarity 101. Like, I was like, this is not all, And I said to her, I was like, when I do the edit, I was like, I'm keeping that in. When you're like, is this us? She's like, oh, no. I'm like, I was like, because I was dying with laughter. But, trying to do it quietly so that I'm not on camera laughing. So I was like, yep.
Man, I got to say this. And one other one I have to mention that I thought you did a lot of great work with, women like Becky Taylor and women like Victoria Peaks. Let's talk about these women because another one, very curvaceous, very voluptuous, real deal sex appeals. Can't say nothing but good things about them. You guys really had great chemistry in your own rights with your separate scenes and everything that went into them. Talk about these women because, my God, man, great chemistry and a lot of sexiness and hotness brought to the film.
Oh, God, yeah. So Victoria and I, thankfully, we've done what? I think we've done about 5 scenes together.
Yes.
But we were like, when we first met, it was like, oh, yeah, like if we were on a night out, we would fuck. So it was like, well, you know what? We should just incorporate that. Like, I always prefer it when it's somebody that I would in real life be like, hell yeah. Like, they would be somebody that I would go out my way to be like, hey, in the lifestyle, do you want to play? Or, if I didn't meet them in a lifestyle, but like I would be interested in talking to or having a friendship with. So we had great chemistry. We shot a couple of girl-girl scenes, you shot a threesome scene, and we've shot a couple swap as well. And she's so easy to work with. Like, she's lovely, she's funny as hell. But when we were together, it's like, no, like we fuck with each other. Yeah. And even sitting talking with her husband and everything, he finds it hilarious that her and I are just like, why do we need dick? Like, hi, we've got pussy. Like, y'all can watch. Like we're good. Don't care. Same with Becky. Like, I met Becky in Chicago. That was the first time I met with her. And just, again, so easy to work with, down to earth, chilled vibes. Like, everything just flowed very easily. And it's like, yeah, you know what? I much prefer that. I have to say, out of all the women I've worked with, I don't know if you've ever seen Sin Sage.
Yes.
She has to be up there pretty much as, like, my instant boom attraction. Like, dear fucking Lord, like, yeah, I would date you in a heartbeat. And we had a fantastic scene in Chicago.
I think what I love about that too is you have your picture of the ideal individual, and I think Sin Sage is one of them. And I mean, I look at it like this, Miss Livie. We have so many women out there, badass. They can have the tattoos, they can have the style and aesthetic, like I mentioned, that you most certainly incorporate before. But there's stuff like that that really just brings it into you. We're just like, man, I got to meet this woman. We maybe even take it to that extra level, so to speak. But there's something about that that also brings a lot to the scene. The vibes and connections. We really need more of that in what we get to see and how we tell those stories on film.
Oh god, yeah, definitely. I mean, the only other female I've ever had that kind of instant boom with was there's the UK performer. So I don't know if you'll follow her or not, but Kitty from By MF Couple.
Oh yes, yes, I know Kitty.
Yes, so her and I have shot I don't know how many scenes together, like several. But you know, even when we see each other and we're not filming, it's like hi, boom. It's like instant, like wrap around hi. Like, it's just one of those things. Her and I have got the same sort of personality, quirks, all the rest of it, and we just chill, and it's genuine sexual chemistry between us. So
I gotta say, and I love that you bring up the UK performers, and I say this much love and respect to everyone here in the US and UK. Y'all also on the UK side of things, and I say what's up to the international side. Y'all definitely bring the hotness within your content as well, and everybody that no, and I mean that, and I'm gonna say this wholeheartedly. It doesn't matter what woman, if you're stateside, international side, y'all do what you do within your content. So that's me giving a whole lot of love to the UK, including yourself.
Yep, I mean I'm lucky. I've worked with people from all over the world. You know, like so many different countries. Spain, Ukraine, Russia, Dutch, German, Israeli, like so many different ones. And everybody's got their own unique, and they're all beautiful with it, you know. So it's like, you know, I'm blessed that I've been lucky enough to have traveled and worked with as many people as I have.
I also like how you bring that up because you mentioned the travel, and I mean, obviously, that's a whole lot of traveling from stateside to international. Here's what I love about it too, and I think what's great about it. I don't mean to laugh, but the grind, pun intended, and the grind as in self never stops, and you're constantly networking because that's what this industry is about: is networking with a lot of great people, and the culture side of things too as well. You get to see different cultures, different states, different countries, and what they're into, and it's really kind of bringing like the whole sexual type of vibes. Everybody bring it together. Sexually united, not divided, but as far as a intimate setting, so to speak. So that really helps a lot of people even explore from all different types of the world and all different aspects.
Oh, it definitely, like really, really does. And that's why I love it, because I don't know, like, you know, when you talk to your friends through school or university or whatever, and everybody's got like this preconceived notion,
mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no. Like, so people will say to me like, hey, I want to go on vacation and I want to do this. Where should I go? And it's like, well, you know, if you want kinky, wild, hedonistic sex with zero kind of judgment, Berlin all day, every day. Like, go be great. There's a lifestyle club pretty much on just about every block. There's Kinos, which is a cinema. So not like a cinema as in like go and watch a movie like we have here. But like the bottom part of it is like a sex shop. So you go in, you buy your whatever you want to buy, your dildos, your lingerie, DVDs, you know, those that still buy DVDs, that kind of thing. And then you go upstairs and it's all playrooms. Or you have like rooms that you can like lock and it's got a window so people can watch you. You've got like a cinema screen where they've got chairs like you're at a movie theater and you can fuck on there while you're watching porn on the main screen. And people just in and out, you know, pay their money, go in, have a fuck, disappear. And they exist all across Europe. So it's not just a German thing, but Berlin they've got the majority of. And then they've got the kink clubs, which like Insomnia and Kit Kat Club, hats off. Like what they do is, yes, like my favorite clubs. There's nowhere else in the world that I can headbang to Rammstein and fuck on a bed at the side of a dance floor. Like, just like, yep, like I'm home, hi. Like, and you go upstairs and it's just, there's no actual rooms as such, it's just beds, a whole host of beds all on the top floor.
See, you had me at Rammstein and fuck, like in Jerry Maguire when she had him at Hello. We talk about you had me at Rammstein and fuck. Hello. But I think that's a great vibe. You have the sex and you have great music at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, could you imagine stood on a dance floor? Du hast mich. And then like, oh, let's fuck. Hi. Finish my drink, hold on.
Oh, see, this is why raves and dance clubs and everything existed like it is
I,
because of,
it is, yeah.
oh, it reminds me of, and like you mentioned, different clubs, and I'll make the pop culture reference. It's like Eurotrip, where he's at Club Vandersex, for God's sake, and he's in Amsterdam, and yeah, I mean, like that's how we really, a lot of us kind of got into seeing a lot of how Europe was for the sexual side of things and the dom side of things and everything. That also adds a nice little element from the pop culture side.
Oh yeah. So yeah, like if you want that, Germany, that's where it is. If you want to be no clothes, wander about, and live your best life, you have to go to the south of France. You have to go to Cap d'Agde. So that is a nature's village. And they have multiple events all through the summer, arranged by different people across Europe and America that fly in and out. And that's how I met a lot of American creators. Years ago, I was in the south of France on a lifestyle event called Black to Cap. And I got really moody because all these gorgeous black men were spending all these time with these couples. And I went to the organizer and I was like, well, I've paid all this money to be here. And like, I haven't had one dick. And he's like, well, they've been told to focus on the couples. And I'm like, why? I was like, it's an event for everybody. Like, my money is just as valid as their money. And one of the creators, he pulled me to the side later on and he was like, hey, can I talk to you? I was like, mm-hmm. I was like, well, it would be nice because you not fucking spoke to me all day, so yeah. And he's like, okay. He's like, shit. He's like, oh, okay. I was like, so go. He's like, right. All the guys had a group chat before we got here. I was like, well, that's normal. I was like, we all had a group chat for everybody going. And he's like, nah, but the guys had a separate one. And like, and every female or couple that was going, like, your pictures were all shared. And it's like, he's like, and everyone was like, I want to fuck Livie. And I was like, but none of you fucks me. And he's like, no. He says, because you're intimidating as fuck. I was like, what? He's like, it's like, okay, we've seen a picture, we've looked on your Twitter, like, whatever, like, she's cool. And then you're just sat by this pool, and it's like, the fuck do I say to her? I'm like, well, hello usually helps. Like hi. He's like, very funny. I'm like, I'm being serious. So he was like, are you just enjoying the lifestyle at this time? I was like, well, yeah, that's why I'm here. And he's like, are you tested? I was like, I'm always tested. He's like, so can I shoot with you? I'm like, hell yeah, you can shoot with me. So we ended up shooting a bunch of scenes. And then I went MIA because my friends were like, where did you go for like 2 days? I was like, yeah. And then it was like, whose room are you in now? I'm like, the cowboy one with the hat. And they're like, the cowboy. I was like, I can't remember his name. I was like, he's really hot. Like, forgot his name. But like, it's all good.
The cowboy one with the hat, who's very hot.
Do you know what? It was kind of like, I want a cowboy hat now. Like, like, I'm like, you've got the boots on. I was like, you're like real, like really from Texas, like real. But that was my kind of first, other than people you kind of meet on like a normal family vacation kind of thing, like the real kind of lifestylers that kind of own their state, kind of, so to speak. So I was like, this is dope. I'm like, I'm going to spend more time in America. And from then on, it was like, yeah, I'm going to spend more time in America. Like, y'all have big hats and big dicks and like, y'all have sex. I'm like, I love it here. Keep me here.
Well, I will tell you straight up, as one fellow American, we are glad to have you here, ma'am. So we appreciate you.
I mean, I don't think Trump probably is. He'd be like, go home.
Oh! Well, first of all right. I haven't done this a lot when this comes up, but I'm going to say this. That's in the response to Trump, number one. But number two, and the reason I'm putting it out there. Good. I'm sorry.
I mean, I think I should just go to the White House and be like, yo, like, you love golf. Let me play you in a game of golf. If I win, I can just stay, right? Deal.
Yes. Just put the bargain on it. Hey, you want to play some golf? You like golf?
I know. Well, he flies to Scotland to play.
I know.
I'm like, dude, come on. Like, let's go play. If I win, I stay, right? Thank you. Appreciate you.
Oh, God. But yeah, no. In all seriousness.
I mean, it's either that or I have to win the lottery and win like in excess of 5 million and be like, here's 5 million. Can I stay, please? Thank you. Otherwise, it's just traveling in and out all the time. And I'm like, okay, like I could do that. It costs a lot of money, but okay.
Well, I will say this. You are a gem to the United States, and we are happy that you're here, my love. And I will say this. You're very welcome. And I will put this into perspective like this. Besides the fact that we get to see your work on and off camera, one thing I have to put over before we even get to the awards side of things, Darlow Entertainment, I know you're doing your thing with that as well. Can you tell us a little about that? Because I've seen the social medias. I like what I see.
Yeah, so I was doing my own thing and hadn't really figured out how to monetize it before. And then I kind of got introduced to the whole, this is how you monetize, and then it was a very real question of, well, I can't be in everything. Like as much as I possibly would like to on some occasions, like I can't just fuck 20 times a day. I mean, I could, but it's kind of greedy for everybody else. So one of my passions when I was younger was photography and videography. So I actually started off with an old school camera and developed films in a darkroom. Like the original, in the water, shake it up, hang it up, I create my image. Yeah. I still actually have in boxes in storage, like original film reels of things that when I was younger. So for me, it was like, well, it kind of makes sense. And then when it comes to shooting, I'm like, well, do you know what? I've watched porn, and I get so frustrated sometimes. I'm like, okay, you're fucking like, she's screaming like she's being strangled or some shit, like she's about to die. And I've got an angle of a fucking foot. I'm like, what is going on? Or like, you see her face. I'm like, so what's he doing to her? Like, what is generating this kind of? And you don't see. Or all of a sudden you just hear this, and I'm like, well, where did he come? Like, what the fuck is going on? So I was like, you know what? I'm going to film it, but I'm going to film it from my perverted perspective. So I say to people, hey, like, I'm going to be filming you today. Please don't, freak out if you've got a dick in your vagina and I'm literally underneath you. Like, I'm not going to touch you, but I am going to capture the shot. I'm going to be in and out. I'm going to be on the bed, under the bed, the side of the bed, like all of those things. But I'll also capture it from every perspective. So I know that there's people that love armpits, love feet, love ass cracks. So I will kind of try and target every single part of that as I'm going around and filming. So for me, that's kind of what kickstarted it when I was like, right, I can monetize it. I can't be always in the film, but I can film people. And there's always people that are like, I want to film, but I don't just want a camera at the bottom of the bed. I'm like, well, yeah, like it doesn't lend very much. You're either having to constantly move toward the camera or stop and move the camera, and I was like, and it's just messy and it's a lot harder to edit. And so it's like, I'll film for you. And then I was doing content houses to do that. So I did one in November last year in London. I did another one in December, also in London, and then Leeds in January in the UK. And then this weekend, actually, I'm doing one in California. And then one in August next month to coincide with the ASN Awards. And then I'm trying to pin down a date for one in the Carolinas, because I've not been to the Carolinas yet, but everyone's like, can you come? Can we film? And I'm like, if I'm going to go, like, I may as well make like, a 2-3 day like event of it. So, yeah. Nice.
That is my home state right now, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I look forward to where you're coming.
I've not been to anywhere in the Carolinas. Like, I've just never been to that part yet of America. So
I will say this: if you're in the Carolinas, it's always about a lot of good eating. To put in the bluntest of terms, down here, I will say this: where I am in South Carolina, Myrtle Beach is one of the top tourist spots. A lot of great restaurants on the quote-unquote Grand Strand. So you'll like it wherever you are in the Carolinas. Just enjoy. You'll take it in. It's definitely a sight.
See, I love food, so that's fine. That works for me.
Me too. So I get it. I get it.
I've got this little thing, and it's for years I've had this. My friends have laughed because I'm always like, just feed me and fuck me. Like, I'm fine after that. Like that. So I used to say it to guys. I'm like, look, I can feed you, I can fuck you, then you're fucking off. Like, you're not staying here. And they're like, oh. Like, most women, I'm not most women. Oh, like, we fucked. It was fun. Goodbye. Like, you've got a full belly, your dick's emptied. Goodbye. Like.
See, I'm going to tell you right now, out of everyone, a lot of the women I've interviewed on this fine program, I think that's the first time I've ever heard "feed me, fuck me." I like your style. No, that's absolutely very true, and I appreciate the bluntness of this, because that's the two spots. You give me something to eat, give me some good eating, give me some good food, a nice meal, boom, give me a burger, give me a steak, give me something, anything food-wise, and then have some sex after that, boom, clear your head.
Boom, we're good.
We're good.
Like, what more do you need?
It's like, hey, let's go get some ice cream from like Carvel or Ben and Jerry's, and then boom, Baskin Robbins even. Then let's go right back to the bed. Boom, we're good.
I see, like, so ice cream is my love language. See, if a guy ever says to me, "Do you want to get ice cream?" I'm like, "You are talking my love language." I'm like, "Thank you, I appreciate you."
That is my one big thing as well. I'm gonna tell you the ice cream here in the States. Like, so growing up, I always lived around like a Carvel, a Dairy Queen. For those that enjoy the Dairy Queen, if you want to get ice cream and burgers, there's Baskin Robbins. I mean, that stuff is like really a big thing. But I gotta say, if you really want like the whole shebang, Dairy Queen is it. Dairy Queen is this year's.
See, we don't really have that in the UK. So for us, okay, we've got like in our stores, we'll have your Ben and Jerry's, your Haagen-Dazs, your other brands, that do whatever flavors and stuff. But we used to have ice cream vans that came around the streets. So, and you would get your Mr. Whippy ice cream. It's kind of like almost like your McFlurries, but a lot better, a lot sweeter, a lot nicer. And we would have that, and we'd put a flake in it, and it'd be like a 99. That was called a 99 cone. Or we had snowballs, not the sexual snowball. It's like, just to make that clear. So a snowball is like the wafer with chocolate and like desiccated coconut on the outside, and then like a fondant in the inside with ice cream topped off in a shell. So they were our kind of, and that was my go-to in terms of like, I would get one of them. If the van came out, I was like, oh, I want one of them. And then the one thing that upsets me in the States is with all these Ben and Jerry stores, none of y'all have my favorite flavor anywhere. And I'm like, I refuse to fly back to the UK just to get me a tub of it.
That's what I gotta ask, because like you have the ice cream vans and we have the ice cream trucks here. And mentioning Ben and Jerry's, what's your favorite flavor, man?
It's called Caramel Sutra, based on like Karma Sutra. Yeah. Okay. I can't find it anywhere. I'm like, so it's chocolate ice cream and like a vanilla, well, kind of like a vanilla, looks like an off-white vanilla, and it's got caramel in the middle. And I'm like, yeah, that's my, like, I can eat a bit of chocolate, a bit of vanilla, a bit of chocolate, a bit of vanilla, and I'll eat the caramel, and it's like this big ball of like, orgasm in the mouth at the end. Like, that is
a nice combination. I like that. Okay. See, I can't even be mad at that. That is a nice little blend of everything. I mean, all right, so we kind of have a mix of that. We kind of have like a swirl in the States. So the swirl is like your vanilla chocolate, and you can mix it all up and like that. Like that's what we kind of have like the equivalent of. It's like a swirl.
Yeah. So when I went to Colombia, I went there for a month, and I was like, I'm going to do some exploring, see some sights. So I was doing this thing. So no matter what country I go to in the world, I will go and try their McDonald's. Not because I like McDonald's, but because I want to see the differences from state to state, country to country. So they had one of the worst McFlurry flavors I've ever tried in my life, for one. It was some weird ball type thing that was like a sponge, and I was like, I can't fuck with that. But they had vanilla ice cream, chocolate ice cream, or they had the mix of two, which they called Twisted. And I was like, let's have Twisted all day, every day. So the girl that came out with me, she's like, it's like interracial ice cream. I'm like, I know, right? We've got both. So I ended up making all these videos on ManyVids of me randomly eating things. Like, we went there for breakfast. I was like, I've got grilled cheese for breakfast out of Mackey's. I was like, what the fuck?
Hashtag interracial ice cream. Goodness gracious me.
And I'm going to go back to Colombia just for that. It's going to be like my daily hashtag. Here we go. But like when I was there, the Colombians, like, they're trying to say my name, and they're like, Livie, you write this? And I'm like, okay, like, yeah, give me your phone. I'll type my name so that, you know what the hell I'm saying, because none of them speak English. And then they're Googling it. And I'm sat in this bar. Lady, yes. You fucky, no condom. I'm like, I was like, what? I was like, and he's like, this you. I'm like, fuck me. I was like, yeah, that's me. Thank you. Stop shouting now. Like, middle of this bar. I was just like, okay. So me in Spanish, I'm like, no, trabajo, no, el condom. And they're like, I'm like, yeah, for work, no condoms. Like, he's like, we fucky. I'm like, no, we no fucky. Like,
you gotta love it.
Cope with this shit. So I was like, I just want to sit and edit and do some work. And now I've got like guys that call themselves Michael Jackson. I was like, oh. So he's like, yeah, he's like, I'm Michael Jackson. I'm like, he's like, yes. He's like, yes, Michael Jackson. I was like, no.
It's like, I don't just want to beat it, damn it. I don't just want to beat it with your Michael Jackson self. I see it. You're just trying to chill and edit. Then you got Michael Jackson over here. I get it.
Yeah, all do. They all use like Americanized like gangster names or pop star names, and like they try and change their name as close to. And I'm like, that is hilarious. I was like, but no. So I'm like, I'm just going to hide in the bar. Please stop shouting my name. I'm like, nope. Like, I'm not answering now. Like, no, I don't answer to that. Like, we're fine.
Oh my goodness! Now, before I get into the awards,
Sorry.
we went into ice cream, and then, like I said, that's my language too. I have a sweet tooth myself, so you're totally fine. So you did mention as well filming and just making sure you get the right angles on the dangle, so to speak. Like somebody may like armpits, somebody may like this and that. Everybody uniqueness and preferences. I also would equate it to like this. I like that angle and how you do it of the directing style, because it's like when you're a kid and you're staying up and you're watching Skinamax, and yes, I'll go the Skinamax route, and you're watching Cinemax. And mind you, there's some good quality porn there with everyone who's involved, but it's just like, okay, I'm seeing this one scream, I'm seeing that one scream, but that's all you really see. It's just the orgasmic stuff, not like the right POVs and everything. It's just what's presented on there. And I think your way of presenting that from the different angles really goes a long way with the presentation.
Oh yeah, I'm very much a case of, if you're going to watch porn, you may as well watch what's actually happening, not guess. You know, is the dick in there? Is it not in there? Is she riding? Is she like, you know? And I know firsthand there'll be some scenes I'll do with guys, and they're like, I don't eat pussy, but I'll look like I'm eating your pussy on camera. And I'm like, why don't you eat pussy? I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like, and they're like, I just don't do it. But like on camera, we can pretend. And they'll lick my leg, and I'm like, okay, I mean, I can be a really good actress, but you're licking my leg.
First off, and I don't mean to be that guy, but I'm going to be that guy. How do you not? That's what I'm saying. That's my shock look there. How do you not enjoy just that? You know what I'm saying? How do you not? I understand the licking the leg, and some people aren't into it, but it's like you can't fake someone licking the leg. It's a different orgasmic experience from the leg to the nether region, so to speak. That really just confuses me.
Yeah. So many American men now like going to the UK because they've realized that UK men don't eat pussy. I'm like, no, they don't. Like, they're just like, nope, not doing it. So I'm like, well, that's great, but if you don't eat me, I'm not eating you. Like, how does this work for a scene?
Right.
Like, you want me to like deep throat all over your dick and gag and slobber and, you know, ruin my fucking makeup, but you won't eat my pussy? I'm like, how? I was like, how am I getting wet for you to put your dick in me? They're like, well, we can just spit. I'm like, you're not spitting on me. Like not that I'm a prude or anything, but I'm like, come on, like, turn me the fuck on. And I've done whole ass scenes with people, and they've not touched me once. And it's like, dude, you haven't even so much as touched my boobs. Like, oh, well, it's not really like, you know, we're not dating. I know we're not dating, but this is a scene. And, you know, like, it has to be believable that you actually want to put your dick in me.
Like the acting, the projection.
Yeah, like we've not kissed. You've not touched my boobs. You've not touched my vagina. I've literally like that on your dick. Rode you bent me over, and then you busted out on my ass. I'm like, cool, high five. Does somebody want to do me now? Hi.
No, first of all, I love the bluntness of that, because no, you're fine. No, please don't apologize. I love that. And I mean, I really love the authenticity and realness that you truly bring, and that really shows a lot to your character. And I mean, I think what I love about it too as well is you have to have that. I mean, even in any scene or just in general, there has to be that physical, mental, whatever type of attraction there. You know, when you're in a scene, or when just you're having sex and you're in that moment, so to speak, don't literally fuck around with it and just dilly-dally. Like, get in there, have fun, take it all in.
Yep. I get so frustrated with it. So I mean, as you know, I travel, I go do scenes.
Yeah.
Now, a few weeks ago, I'm not sure where I was, but we did like 3-4 scenes. And I was like, right, I'm about to have like a strop, like a tantrum child thing. And they were like, why? I was like, because I've shot all these scenes, I've sucked so much fucking dick. I was like, and not one person has went down on me, but you've all busted up. And then they were like, do you know what? Yeah, we kind of like enjoyed the blowjob so much we kind of forgot. I'm like, yeah, see? I'm like, so unless you go down on me, I was like, that's it. I'm refusing to do any more work. I'm like,
have to send you the song, and this will be from the American side of things. So, and I'll explain this to you. So there was a song back in the day, and as you know, in the 90s, the boy bands were very popular. And then there were some that had like their 15 seconds of fame. So there was this boy band group in the late 90s, early 2000s, right? They were called B44. B, the number 4-4. So like B44, but like not spelled out.
Okay.
So their hit single, and they were a group from Canada, right? So their hit single was a song called Get Down. If you get down on me, I'll get down on you. I will do anything that you want me to. It's a game of give and take to make it through. So if you get down on me, I'll get down on you tonight. And then there's one verse that they go, I'm going to make you come tonight. And then they pause over to my house. Because not like come, like C-U-M, like C-O-M-E, over to my house.
Yeah. Oh, me, yeah.
So that's what reminds me of every time I think of Get Down. I remember that infamous song from the 2000s. I was like, they're only one hit wonder, because when you have like those boy bands that just come and go, that was one of them. If I find it, I have to send it to you. It's hilarious.
You do. Yeah, because we didn't get a lot of the American music over in the UK. We got some, like John Mayer's. He kind of made it over in terms of, yeah.
All right.
And there's a few other ones, you know, that kind of, they would appear, and then like you never heard of them again because they only got one album that actually made it over to the UK. Like their other stuff didn't quite. So when I come over here, and like the Americans are like, "What do you listen to?" And I'm like, "American rap mainly." And they're like, "What?" I'm like, I grew up on Snoop, like Warren G, Ice, like that. That was my, you know, I would smoke a blunt in high school, go and sit in the class, and then or Skype school and go fuck. Like that was my. They're like, oh, I'm like, yeah, like. We actually figured out that I was having gangbangs before I knew what they were called. So we used to Skype school or play truant, as you would call it.
Okay.
I would be like, okay, like we've got a free period, or you know, that teacher never pays attention, doesn't take the register, and we're like, yeah, fuck it. Who's got an empty house? Who's got a free house? So we'd all go to one house, and 9 times out of 10, I would be fucking each of the men, but like on a different, you know, like one would be Monday night, one would be Thursday, one would be Saturday, whatever. And we'd all hang out. And I'm like, well, we only have like an hour, and then we do have to be in this class because he does take register. And it's like, well, we should all just fuck in the one room because I'm not like between all 3 of you. So it would be like, or 3 or 4 of you. So we'd all just boom, 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 and then go back to school. And I didn't think anything of it. And then it wasn't until obviously as an adult and you start doing porn, and I'm like, oh, I do that for fun. I've been doing that for years. I've even having gangbangs on lunch break.
So what you're telling me is, and I'm just breaking it down here. So you had gangbangs. You go back to school. I'll smoke a joint, and then in the background, I'm going to put on Warren G and Nate Dogg because I had to regulate. That's what you're telling me.
Regulate, yep. Yep.
I love that. That is a combo, man. I love that.
So shit, you know, I'm in Texas back in like April, May, and like my personal vanilla Facebook, I get this message. It pops up on Messenger. And it's from a guy I went to school with, right? We've been friends since I was, 13?
Yeah.
So like 30 years of friendship. First message. So, Miss Blainn, yeah? I just burst out laughing. I'm driving and I burst out laughing. Right?
Over 30 years of friendship.
And I was like, sup? And he's like, what's up? I was like, yeah, what's up? He's like, I finished work. I went to like, you know, crack one out. And who the fuck do I come across? And I'm watching this video and I'm like, wait a minute. I know her. Hold on. He's like, so I've just spent the last 3 hours researching on X videos, all your videos. And you've got a goddamn production company. And I've just sat and watched. I was like, and your verdict? He was like, well, you're still fucking hot, like all the years later, he said, but considering you gave me a blowjob in the drama cupboard when we were 14, it's no surprise you do porn.
That's great.
He's like, I have told all the guys, so we used to go to the soccer games every weekend, like home games, didn't go to a lot of the away games, but every home game we went. So we all used to get a bottle, get drunk behind the pub, and then go to the game. And then a few of us would fuck afterwards, like if I could extend the time out before I had to be home. And they were like, he's like, yeah, all the guys know. They're loving it. Like, you've got some new subscribers. I was like, I'm dead. I was like, you lot are hilarious. So all I keep getting now is Miss Blainn Tay. Like, so 2 as in Tay. So we always put 2 at the end in Scotland. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yep. I'm like, no, you have to tell me what's your favourite. And they're like, we don't know. We were just like, this is like fucking high school, but you're high school on steroids now.
High school on steroids.
I'm like, yep. So I was like the first one to bleach my hair. Like back then, like girls didn't really bleach their hair. It was like your normal basic colors. I was the first one to chuck colors in my hair. You know, I got my first tattoo in high school. Right. So they're like, yeah, like you've just like taken a whole all the way. Like fuck you. Fuck convention. I'm like, nah, it didn't really work for me. Like,
well, here's the thing. I mean, it's being normal. It's like Debbie Reynolds in Halloween Town. Being normal is vastly underrated. And I mean, if you really like look at it, like what we do and what we really look at in our things that in this thing that we call life, what you do not only is it art, but it's also cool, but it also adds a different element of just creativity. And I think that's what's wonderful. I mean, it's the norm. A lot of things are the norm for everybody, but if you can think outside the box and really go your own way and start your path and really go that way, I think that's wonderful. So that's even not something to really admire about you, but that takes a lot of courage and drive to where you want to go with and where you want to go.
it's like, so on my vanilla kind of life, I don't tend to put anything creatory,
Right.
you know, because I do have family, and okay, a lot of them know what I do, but I don't throw it in their face, you know. Like I told my kids, I was like, hey, so I told my kids years ago, hey, I'm lifestyle, I do events, I do this, I do that, you know, especially as my son got older. And I was like, yeah, your friends are going to be on those websites and shit. So heads up. Like, so you've heard it from me, not from somebody else. So both my kids know, and they were like, okay, you're a fucking weirdo, but do you? As long as you're happy. I'm like, yep, cool. I am. Thank you. Like I won't do anything to like, you know, to embarrass you or, you know, nothing stupid, but this is my life. And they're like, yeah, that's fine. Same with a lot of family members. They're like, I don't understand it, but and I'm like, well, you know what? It's no different than you, I don't know, working in a a store and serving your customers. Like, they're like, we don't have sex. I was like, I'm not saying you have sex with a customer. What I'm saying is you have an interaction. I was like, and that's what a scene is. It's an interaction with another person. Okay, I'm not, you know, putting their stuff through the till and going, hey, that's like $50. No, I'm having sex, and then we're finishing the scene and we're going our separate ways. I said, but I don't see it any differently as just having a job. Like, there are some days that I love my job, and there's other days that I'm like, dear Lord, I'm going to punch this person in the nose. Not literally. Figuratively. Not literally, right? just to make that clear.
Figuratively speaking, not literally going to punch you in the nose.
But you know what I mean? Like, there's some people you're just like, come on, man, like, get it together. Like, today.
Yes.
Like, when I go and shoot with somebody, I don't want to spend 8 hours with you. Like, I want to go in and do my scene and be done in like an hour and a half. I mean, I've got shit to do.
Right. It's the constant grind, and everything in our life is a business. You have to treat everything like a business. And I mean, to add to your point, it's like, say, like if you're working in a grocery store, you're a cashier and you're doing the norm, right? Like you mentioned the vanilla side. It's not like with what you do. It's not like, okay, you know what? That'll be $10 for this piece of cereal, this cereal right here. And then just start going, and then just start stripping in the grocery store. Like this line of work. That's probably a funny example. You're really cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Anyway, I digress. There's one of those things where I'm saying it's like, you know, it's a business, it's a job, and you treat it as such. It's like any other 9 to 5.
I mean, to be fair, so when I went through university, I worked night shift in a grocery store.
Yes.
To pay my way through university. And I did have a sexual dalliance with a couple of colleagues.
Okay.
So that was either like fucking in the freezers when the delivery was coming in, or I worked out if you stand directly under a camera, you can give a hand job and not get caught.
This is literally like Ted when friggin' Teddy gets in the back having sex with Mary Sue or whoever the blonde was. Jeez, that's literally what this is.
And I always said to people, like, when I decided that was it, I was just going to do porn. And people are like, but why? And I'm like, well, because I do it anyway. Like, I don't know how to behave. Like, so I may as well do it and get paid, you know, for living my best life.
Now, like, well, when you're living your best life, and I think that's great because it's evolution right here, Livie, because you go from your teenage years to college years to your adulthood, and you get to expand the sensuality vibes. And if you can make money off of it and turn it into a business and a profit, that's even better because you're just being yourself, but amplified with the decimals turned up, so to speak.
Precisely. Yeah. I'm just like I don't think I could ever go back to like vanilla work. Like, I mean, no matter what country I'm in, the hair, the tattoos, it's an obstacle straight away. Like, They see me and they're like, oh, like, and I get met with the whole condescension and I'm like, right, you do realize that I'm probably more qualified than you. And they'll look at me like, pardon? I'm like, yeah. Well, and I'm like, no. Like, forget the tattoos, forget the piercings, forget the hair. Like, if you just look at my resume, I'm more qualified than you. Like, who the fuck are you to stand there in judgment of me? And then they'll look at it and they're like, oh, you have a bachelor's with honours. I'm like, yeah, in politics, history and religion, with a side splash of education. Yeah. Like, I can run rooms around your bullshit. And they're like, oh, I was like, yeah, plus I'm qualified to teach English as a foreign language. Plus I have my teaching qualification that I went and paid for separately so that I could go into schools and assist. I was like, so yeah, I'm probably more qualified than the majority of you, but I have tattoos and piercings, so fuck me, I must be like the scourge of society.
How dare you have those tattoos?
I know, right? Like, oh my God.
Oh, scandalous. No,
I mean, I remember it. I think I was 17.
Right.
And I got my first tattoo. And my dad turned around and he was like, if you were meant to have them, you'd be born with them. I was like, well, no, because things wouldn't exist if you were meant to be born with it. And he's like, no. He's like, you know what? You're just going to end up being white trailer trash. Tattooed white trailer trash. And I was like, well, we don't have trailers in the UK, but okay. And I knew it was an Americanized reference, and because he hated the fact that I slept with black men. And so I did a scene in an RV a few months ago. And I'm stood and I was like, I so want to take a picture with all these like RVs behind me. I was like, can we just find a bunch of black men? I'm like, look, I finally made it. I am tattooed white trailer trash, Dad. And the guy I was shooting with was like, don't you dare. I said, look, I did it, Pops, I did it. Because I've not spoken to my dad in years, so I'm like, no fucks given. Like, I would literally send that picture and be like, look what I did. Blacked, Livie style. like, fuck you.
First of all, and I'm going to say this, I love my father very much, but sometimes he can overreact. So I'm going to tell a brief story here. And Dad, I love you, but I'm sorry, not really. So, I mean, so there was one day, I forgot what the hell I was doing. So I'm just like, you know what? Nothing really going on. I just decided to take a nap on the couch. I was tired, so let me just take a quick nap, and then I'll go on without my day with whatever we're doing. So I'm sitting there. And I hear it because I started coming out because I hear my dad yelling. Apparently, I was wearing a short sleeve shirt. And mind you, folks, I never told my dad that I got a tattoo when I was 18. So I was coming in like out of high school, right? So the piece that I have on my arm is a piece dedicated to my grandfather who passed away when I was 9 years old. And I was very close to my grandfather. So I had my little cross piece here, and he could see like the tail end of it where my short sleeve sleeve was. And I guess he looked and he was like, and I hear him when I wake up yelling, Mom, when did he get this? And I'm like, well, never told my dad that I got two. And also my mom got a tattoo as well the same night. So there you go. Never told my dad. But he got over it, of course. But it's just like that. I will always remember just my dad freaking out. When did he get this? I'm like, I'm 18. Like, I'm out of high school. Like, I can get it.
Like, I mean, I told my mom when I got my first tattoo. And I hid it from my stepdad because I knew how he'd react.
Yeah.
But obviously, when my stepdad saw it and my dad saw it, they were like, up in arms, like screaming and shouting, she's gonna be this and she's gonna that, and she and I'm like, what? I was like, all of a sudden, I'm gonna be what this dark stain on society because I've got a tattoo. Like, come on, like you think I just went and killed the Pope or some shit? Like, I just got a tattoo. Like, it's not that big a deal. People have been doing it for years. Like, nearly every military faction has a tattoo. Marines do it as a symbol of like their unity. Why is this such a bad thing? And
I have to mention the pop culture one more time here because this one will make you laugh. It's like in the 90s, and I'll equate this to you. Like you mentioned, like the military, Marines, and everybody does. It is. It's a form of honor, and it represents a lot of what your canvas is, your body.
Yeah.
So it's like the boy bands, and everybody talks about how bad these tattoos are in the 90s. It's like when you see like a Jeff Timmons of 98 Degrees, and he had like that barbed wire tattoo and the 98 Degrees logo on his arm. That was a representation of the group. And also the barbed wire tattoos are very cool in the 90s. It may be cheesy now, but that's what everybody had. It was the style.
Well, that's why every female wanted it after Pamela Anderson got it.
Yeah, exactly.
The hot blonde bird with fake titties. Oh my God, I want barbed wire. Why? Like, I never got into the barbed wire kind of thing, but it was like, okay, like I get it, but I don't get it. Like,
Exactly.
Why are we tattooing barbed wire on each other?
I don't get
or
it either, but it was a
or
style.
the tigers or the jaguars or panthers. Like, so many people have got a black panther, and I'm like, but why? Like, it was just synonymous with that era that everybody had one.
It's like the people that get the koi fishes, and I'm like, why are you tattooing a fish on your arm? It happens. Like, it's a style. You don't understand it, but if it's an appeal to people.
So one of my friends has actually won the national tattoo convention so many years in a row, and that is his big thing. It's koi fish, hentai, like the Japanese inspired.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
And that's poly tattoos. And I'm like, I get it, but like, I mean, yes, okay, I have Japanese inspired. I don't know if you can see my arm.
Yes.
And I have I'm going to have it on me now. This is
nice.
the cherry blossom that lives on top of a volcano in Japan.
Yes.
But for me, it symbolizes growth and adversity. Because I'm like, not many things can live on a volcano.
I like that symbolism, and that's the thing too. If you can have the symbolism to your pieces and what they mean to you, and I think that's wonderful growth and adversity. A lot of people can relate to, and I mean, I look at it like this. You mentioned one of the many misconceptions with the adult entertainment industry. Like, you were talking about how jobs and, people all got piercings, tattoos, hair colors, and styles there. That's the one misconception. And I've seen it so many times when it comes to people who do adult work. They think, oh, they're just having sex. They're not very smart. I'm like, no, there's a lot of doggone people who are business minded when it comes to the adult entertainment industry who are smart sons of guns, much like yourself.
Mm-hmm. Like, you have to be. Like, when you think about it, you've got all your contracts. You have to make sure that that's airtight. You can't be sued. You can't this. You can't that. You've got to have the age requirements for the whole credit card verification checks on the websites that you distribute your content on. You then have to figure out how to monetize your content. How does this work? How does that work? How do you sell it on that? On what range can you sell it? And how many ways can you sell it? All of this. I'm like, you're not going to find, your most dippy of people, for want of a better word, like sitting as millionaires because they decided to open their legs. That's not going to happen. And that's what I say. A lot of people that go, I want to do porn. Okay, well, what have you thought about it? And do you realize that it's permanent? And and they're like, well, no, I'm just going to be an OnlyFans girl and make $1 million. And I'm like, and how do you propose to do that? Like what about you? Is that unique, that different, that you're going to have all these millions of people subscribe and you're going to make $1 million? And they're like, well, because people have been doing it for years. No, there's a very small percentage of people that make millions. Most people make enough as a kind of side hustle, and that's great. So some people are quite happy they do it for fantasy. It's not because they want the money or they need the money. They do it because they enjoy it. They like the thrill of making a video and putting it online, and they geo-block whatever state or country they're in so that, the friends and family don't find out. And that's clever, because I get so many people that will message me going, hey, I've got a new partner and they don't like that I've done porn, so can you take it down? No.
Right.
Oh, but that's not fair. But it is fair. Oh, I'll put a takedown in. Well, you can put a takedown in and I'll supply the paperwork that you signed with your ID and you holding it and all the rest of it, and the content will remain.
Right.
I'm not like, I told you when you started it and you wanted to do this, this is forever. Like, so whether you have a new partner, your kids grow up, your ex-boyfriend or your baby daddy or your baby mama, or like, I'm sorry, that's something that you should have taken into account and in consideration before you did this. Because even if I was to take it down off my platform, if you've got other people, like, they're going to take it down off their platform,
right,
and then you're going to contact how many sister sites to have it removed? Like, you're going to spend years trying to get one video removed. I was like, and for what? I said, you could probably find that your next door neighbours downloaded it and screen recorded it and sitting jerking off to it. In all honesty,
I don't mean to laugh, but that's a great example, because you don't know who around you is going to find said content, and you have guidelines that you sign even before you even get into it and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it's one of those things that it infuriates me, especially when I'm traveling and I'll get a message going, hey, any chance you could take that video down? Well, one, I'm on shit Wi-Fi. I'm in some weird ass whatever. And I don't really have time to be sitting scrolling through my library of X amount of videos trying to find this one scene. Like I'm really sorry. Like, unless it's something life or death that you desperately, desperately need, No. I was like, and even when I'm with good Wi-Fi and somewhere, I'm like, I'm focusing on editing the stuff that I've just shot and getting it out there, and also maintaining my clients' accounts. So I maintain other people's accounts as well. So it's like, you think I've got time between my accounts and the 7 people that I also run to sit and find one video? No.
Well, I will say this: when it comes to the work that you provide and the woman that you are one of the good ones, my friend, and also one of the badass and funny and entertaining ones, as we've seen in today's platform. And I do appreciate you wholeheartedly for that. I do have a couple final questions, and I'm actually going to put the overture here. Anytime you want to come back on for round 2, I'd love to have you back.
Oh, definitely. I just need to remember sometimes, because people, when I first came to America, people were like, "You're really offensive," and I'm like, "How?" They're like, "Well, we don't speak like that, and you use language we don't use, and you're very blunt." And I'm like, "But I'm Scottish." and I got so much heat when I first started coming over here. They're like, "Yeah, but you can't do that." And I'm like, "But I can't change me."
Well, you're yourself. You're authentic.
I'm like, I can't change to like what you find acceptable. Like, I just have to be me. So my daughter, I love her to bits. She's hilarious, but she's like, "I'm not coming with you." And I was like, "Why?" And she's like, "Well, 1, America has guns." She's like, 2, I can't say the word cunt. Nobody will talk to me.
Oh boy.
I was like, "Baby," I was like, "They've got used to me now." I was like, "I say it all the time." I said, "Don't get me wrong, in some circles that like I get the eye raised, and but I'll be like, "Oh, I'm not talking to you or about you." I'm just like they'll say, "Oh, how's your day?" And I'm like, "Oh, like this paperwork's being an absolute cunt." And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "It means it's being annoying." And they're like, "Oh." I'm like, "No, I'm not calling anybody that." I had one female scream at me. She's like, "You're a cunt." I went, "I know." I was like, "I have it tattooed on me." I was like, "Did you not realize?" And she's just like, "What?" I said, "Listen, where I'm from, you calling me a cunt is that's not derogatory." I was like, "We call our best friends like good cunt, bad cunt, funny cunt. What? It's not being rude." I said, "That's why I have it on me. So I have the crown, and then I have
I see it.
See, Queen cunt." I'm like, "This is not derogatory."
Oh, I love that so much. Like, really, I appreciate the realness and authenticity. You're all right in my book, my friend. You can do what you please. I truly appreciate
But I did find it funny. That was my daughter's 2 reasons for not coming. They've got guns and I can't see cunt.
You got guns and I can't say cunt. I understand the guns part. I truly do. But yeah, no, I can't say cunt gets me.
So she laughs. So she'll jump on FaceTime with me when I'm out.
Yeah.
And then she'll be like, "Who's cuz?" "Y'all cuz. Y'all good? Sup, bro?" I'm like, "You got me dead." And everyone's like, can she speak? And I was like, "What do you mean, can she speak?" Because they all want to hear us talking like to each other in Scottish. Because we get really quick and we lose a lot of letters and words. Like, it's a thing. Like, water has no T. Like, hey. There's no V in have. It's hey. Like, so her and I both do like a very southern accent together when we're talking.
Oh,
so
boy.
We were in New Orleans and the guys were like, no, come on, you two FaceTime. So her and I were on FaceTime. And they're like, let's hear it. So she's like, "Oh my gosh." She's like, "Why?" I was like, "It's not me making you do this, it's them." I was like, "Tell them off." And she's like, "They're your friends." I'm like, "True." So she's like, "Well, mama, I'm about to make you a meemaw and you're going to have to suck it up." I was like, "You dare make me a meemaw, I'm going to whoop your ass." Everyone's like, "Oh my, like, what the fuck are you two doing?" So she'll literally call me. She'll like, "Meemaw." I'm like, "Don't you meemaw me." I was like, "I am not being a meemaw." She would do random shit. She'd be like, "You eating?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "What are you making?" I'm making a brisket. She's like, "I don't want no brisket." I'm like, "We get some brisket and some biscuits." She's like, "Nuh-uh." People are like, "What?" I was like, "Well, you all complain that you don't understand us when we talk Scottish." I was like, "So we got the pretend American accent going."
It's kind of like Bubba and Forrest Gump: shrimp and potatoes, shrimp biscuits.
Yep.
I love that. Okay, so I have to ask you as well.
Yes, I'm sorry. You're like,
No,
oh, thanks
you're
for getting
totally
these questions out. My
You're
bad.
totally,
This is my
you're
fault.
totally fine. You're totally fine. So I have to ask you, 2025 AVN nominee, 2024 ASN nominee, two-time UK Glamour. Wow. So let's put this into the forefront. The award shows are absolutely spectacular. You have a lot of elegance. You have a lot of just greatness that goes into them. I wanted to ask you about these award shows, especially UK Glamour Awards, man. How awesome is it to see the prestige, your presentation, your work being appreciated by others? The award shows are great, man.
They are. Do you know, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of networking. And I say to people, like, they should never be disheartened if they don't win, because it is just the participation. Like, if you weren't showcased or, didn't get it or weren't nominated, just keep working on, like your time will eventually come. Like, when I was at the Christmas party at Snap, which is one of the UK federations, and like I left there about maybe 2 a.m. So if you think about it, 8-hour time difference from Pacific, 6 from Central, 5 from Eastern. So I got home at like 2 a.m., cooked a pizza, had a bit to drink. So I was like, you know what, eat my pizza, go to bed. I got up the next morning. I had 130 messages on WhatsApp. Had about another 60 on Telegram. And then I went to Twitter and there was about 80 notifications. And I'm like, the fuck did I miss? Like, I only went to bed for a couple of hours. And it was like, oh my God, I just saw you've been AVN nominated. And the funny thing was, at the party, people were like, are you going to go to AVN in January? And I'm like, probably not. No, like, I don't know. Maybe it's a lot of money just for, to wander about and chat to people. And I was like, so I might just wait and do like the Exoticas and the Expos and da. And then I woke up in the morning and I was like, well, that kind of settles it. I'll be doing AVN then, yeah? And then I was like, as I'm going through it all, and it was like, okay, for 2025, I was only one of 4 people from the UK nominated. I was like, shit, definitely need to go. And then I got nominated for the ASN Awards, which is happening next month, and that's for Best Pro-Am Producer. So I was like, okay, not even a year after I launched, and they'd recognised and put me forward as part of the Pro-Am Producer. So I was like, shit. So, I mean, it is nice because it means that people are watching. Like, you never know who's watching. And I always say that to people. I'm like, you know what? You could be out in company and you don't have a clue who's sitting there. Like, because some of these guys that run these companies, like, their pictures aren't out there on social media. Their names aren't out there. Like, you could be literally sitting beside like a regular Bill Gates and not even know it. I was like, so you need to mind your P's and Q's. Like, yes, you can have personality. Yes, you can say, bits and pieces, but you never know who's actually sitting there watching you. And it could be somebody that could turn your career like that. It's like, shit. So yeah, other times I'll go out and I'm like, I promise to behave and not drink a fuck ton of tequila and be Scottish. Because like, I'm like, promise, I'll be on my best behaviour. Or at least try to be on my best behaviour. Not that I'm bad, I don't misbehave or anything, but like, we get quite loud. And very blunt, more blunt than I am normally. So it's like, you know what, I'm a behave.
Well, I will say, when you do go to these events and when we get to see on the screen and behind the screen, I got to say, you, like we mentioned earlier, you're definitely one of the badass ones, the blunt ones, and dare I say, one of the cool ones. And you are truly appreciated. And before we close this thing out, couple final ones I did want to ask as well before we have you promote the socials. For you being in this industry, being a content creator, just being the individual that you are, what are some of the things that you've been grateful for being in the industry? Besides being grateful, what are some of the takeaways that you've really learned from being in the industry?
Oh wow. So I'm grateful again for like the ability to travel, the people I get to meet, the producers, the companies, the camera crews, like everybody behind the scenes. Because you know what? Even though they're not appearing, in a film or whatever, like they do so much work that nobody really understands, from even sound crew. Like the efforts they go to make sure there's not like a dull bit or this or that or whatever. And they are like the dopest people ever. I've got so much time and respect for them because like the technical part of it, I have to do it, but it's not my fun part. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not my, oh my God, yeah, I can't wait to play with it. No, like I want to be a pervert and create something magical. And I just kind of want everybody to figure out and be on the same wavelength as me. But you've got to get so many people at one. So I mean, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for all the people that take their time. I'm grateful for being able to travel. the kind of take froms is some people can be nice as hell to your face and be stabbing you in the back. And that's one thing that you really have to take in this industry with a pinch of salt. Some people are, it's who's clapping for you when it's all going down. Like, it's all very well and good that people saying, "Oh yeah, that would be great. That would be great if you win." Did they clap when you do win? It's like, who's actually there when you hit that finish line? Because a lot of them fall off, and I get it. Like, a lot of people, they work hard as well. So there's nobody that's like more or less deserving. It could be public vote or whatever. It could be one vote between who wins something. But some people get really salty about it, and it's like, well, you've just spent months going like, yeah, I can't wait to see you there, and then they don't win and like they won't even speak to you. It's like, oh, okay. So, and I think that happens quite a lot. Like, I've noticed it quite a lot over the years. It's very much a face fits kind of thing in certain circles. No.
Well, I will say this when it comes from that. First of all, beautifully, eloquently said, and honest, obviously as well, honest. But I mean, I look at it like this, man. We all got to be united, not divided. Enough of this. But I got to say, we all got to be clapping for each other, because at the end of the day, you're all doing the same thing. You're all working very hard. So I mean, I got to tell you right now, I'll even do it right here. I'm clapping for you right here. So there's a little clappy clap. I got you. But I will say this, y'all clap it up and do your thing for Miss Livie Blainn over here, because there's a lot of great people in this industry, and she is one of the many great ones. So before we close this out, Livie Blainn, where we can follow you on the social medias, we can hear that honesty, that authenticity, and hell, we even talk about you being the queen cunt that you are, as you showed eloquently with those tattoos. Oh, wow.
I know, right?
Where can we follow you on the socials? The floor is yours.
On Twitter, livieblainn.com. Instagram, they just killed my main one, so I'm now on my backup, which is just Livie Blainn. And I've also made a new one, which is Livie It Up, which is also the name of my podcast. So you Livie It Up with Livie. That's going to be my little, around the world. Where am I? What am I doing? The backstage kind of shit for Livie It Up. Everywhere else is Livie Blainn. ManyVids, Pornhub, X-Hamster, X-Videos, you name it. It's very simple. Just Livie Blainn, so that people don't get confused. And, have I got letters and symbols and no, just my name.
Links will be in the description where you can see all of this and everything that goes
on my website, livieblainn.net. What do you do at night? Oh yeah, that.
You're totally fine. The links will be in there. Livieblainn.net. Oh, I'll even add Darlow Entertainment. Do you want to work everybody for the Darlow?
Yep. Darlow Entertainment is exactly the same.
Okay.
On Twitter, Instagram, all the things. Darlow Entertainment. And it's actually my lips. Funny story behind the Darlow. Darlow was my lifestyle name in the UK before you kick me off your thing.
Oh, you're fine.
And my profile picture on the equivalent of the Swingers website in the UK was my lips. And I always used to wear blue lipstick. I had blue hair, blue lipstick. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take the lips and incorporate that into my production. So
I love that. I love that. Okay, so you incorporate the lips and everything. See, that's the thing. You're taking a piece of you and you're putting in everything. I love that. I can definitely respect that. That's so cool. Now, I will say this as well. Also check into the podcast. I love the Livie It Up type of vibe. Livie, living it up, Livie It Up. That's cool. Definitely check it out. I will definitely be tuning in as well. Y'all, we got a lot of great things from this woman, and I know you said a lot in today's forum, which I appreciate you for, because you were so blunt, earnest, and honest. Do you have any final words to your peeps and everybody that's been following you since day one?
Just thank you. Thank you for the support. For me, 18 months ago, I had less than 10,000 followers on Twitter. I didn't have my tube site set up. I'd made them, but I hadn't. And now I'm sitting on 4 million views on one tube site alone. I'm 40,000 on Twitter. All my stuff's organic. I don't pay for promotion. I don't buy promotion. I don't buy followers. So all my fans have all just followed me from lifestyle to content and continue to do so. So I can't ask for anything more, really.
Progression and succession, and continue to follow Miss Livie Blainn. And before we close this out, folks, as always, S&M Network shows for all your fine programming, including interviews with this one, which will be on this fine YouTube channel very, very soon. And much like the title of this podcast is On the Mic with Mike, my overall mindset is beauty, strength, and dominance. And for those that don't know, beauty, strength, and dominance, the 3 key elements that make women the work of art that they are. And Livie Blainn, I include you in those sentiments. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.